welcome to Salesforce CMAtics video session 172. So basically in today's video, we will try to learn how we can do some of the simple calculation through compare table. Okay, there are other functions, complex functions which can be done through compare table, but today in this session, I will actually teach you how we can do some of the simple calculations possible in a compare table so that you can understand the concepts, and further on we can check later on some of the complex functionalities like windowing functions and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to my Analytics Studio. Here, I will open the same dataset which I have been dealing with till now, and let me just duplicate it. So what I will do is here, I will go to the compare table, and under compare table, let's say I put a filter. Okay, let's say I go for something like as simple as maybe industry. I think industry will make sense for this particular thing which I'll be doing right now. So I will add a filter. Okay, and under the filter, what I will do is I will go for the stage bucket and I will go for close stages, or let me go for open stages. Okay, so I will click on apply, and what I will do is I will just clone this one. Okay, so just cloning this one, and only the filter part, what I will do, I will just change it to close stages. Okay, now once this is done, what will happen is like you will get this option of edit this column. Okay, when you go for edit this column, okay, so under this editing column, as you can see, for this A row, this is nothing but the open stages, and this B is nothing but the close stages. Okay, so maybe I can just write over here. Let me just check once again. Okay, yeah, open stages and close stages. So I will just click on edit this column, and here I will just write count of close stages. Okay, and click on apply, and here I will write count of open stages. Okay, click on apply. Okay, that's fine. Now, if you see here, you can actually over to the next column. Okay, the right column. So the one which is selected, that's the column which is present. If you want, you can hover from the right column. Now, as you can see here, we can write and edit formulas within dataset columns. Okay, so I will just show you how we can write simple formulas within the dataset columns. So what will happen is like here, basically we have the count of open stages and count of close stages. Now, if you want to add a new column, okay, so instead of clicking on that plus, because when you click on this plus icon over here under the column section, you will get to see what are the measures, like you can do the aggregations which are there present on the measure. So one way is you can click on add formula. That is one of the steps where you will get to a new column. Okay, and you can create your own formula. That is one of the way. Okay, for sure. Another way is like you can just click on this edit this column, and you can click on, I mean currently I've already done that part by clicking on add formula. That's why this came up, or otherwise you could have followed that step as well. Fine. Now here, let's say I just write uh, something like open plus closed. Okay, and if I write something like open plus closed, now here what I will do is I will just do a simple calculation. So this is my open stage and this is my close stage. So this, since this will be a count of open plus close, what I will do is here I will just write a plus b. Okay, a plus b, that's it. Fine. And what it will do is just add these two columns. So if I click on apply, as you can see, this has just added these two columns. Okay, for the format, you can choose some of the formats which are here. Okay, that is something which I already walked you. For now, I'm not choosing the format. This is a simple calculation which I'm showing you, and that's the way this is done. Okay, so after that, you can click on close once you have applied, and now as you can see, this is nothing but a, as you can see here, one symbol is coming. If you check my cursor, like there is one symbol is coming, which is more like a summation sign, right? So this summation sign, if you see, okay, it is nothing but it's a formulated uh, measure which we have done. Okay, it's not a measure which is coming from the data set, it's a formulated measure. Okay, that's the thing about this one. So I can just simply write open plus closed account here. And I'll save it in my recipe data set, which is fine. Now similarly, other than the addition, we can also do subtraction and all those things. For example, let's say I take something like sum of amount over here. Okay, and here maybe I will just take the average of amount. Okay, so I've taken two columns. Now what I will do is, again, I will just go to my compare table, and here I will just group by the same thing, which is industry. Okay, So now once that is done, again, I will just click on this plus, I will click on the add formula. And as you can see here, it is sum, here it is average. So here, let's say I write something like, uh, I have already shown you the plus, let's say I write something like sum minus average, okay? So I'm giving this column as sum minus average, and here what I will do is I will just write A minus B. That's it, okay? Click on apply, and it will, if you just do the sum and minus of this average, you will actually get this part, and that is something I can see 1, 2, 3. Yeah, basically I can do one of the calculation for you, but basically it's the same result, okay? So that one you can do it yourself as well. And now here, let's say I want to do something like sum into average, okay? So you go for sum into average, and here again it will be A into B, okay? So it will be like A into B, fine. And again I can click on apply. So that's the, like if you just multiply this two, you will get this much amount of number. And again, you can just go for something like sum by average, okay? I think sum by average will give the very low value, so maybe I can go for average by sum. Okay, I'm naming it in that manner, and since it is average by sum, it will be like B by A, right? B by A won't give me that part. I think it has to be more, yeah, let it be sum by average only, okay? Sum by average, and let it be A by B. Okay, I'm doing on apply. So this is the complete calculation which you see. Okay, you can just check one of them. For example, like if I just open my calculator, I can show you one related to subtraction. So I'm just taking the, for example, I'm just taking the first one, okay, which is sum minus average. So it is like 27375,857 minus, here it is 516,525.6, okay. So it is like this much, okay, like 26,859,31.4, which is coming correctly. And very quickly, we can also do the sum by average. For example, it is 27,375,857 divided by 516,525.6. As you can see, it's showing 50. So anyways, we can do further calculations, and that it will show up the complete result for you. Fine. Okay, so that's the thing about this simple calculation which can be done. Now, let me just save it as simple calculations applied, something like that. I will click on this close. Now, other than this, what we can do is like here again, if I just click on duplicate, maybe I'll just open that dataset once again. There are further functions which are there as well. For example, I'm just going for this, let's say count of rows only, and I'm just clicking on, or maybe let's say I go for sum of amount, and let's say I go for something like, once again, the stage bucket only. Fine. Now, what I will do is, now if I click on this plus and I click on this add formula, now here you have further functions also available. Okay, so we have a lot of functions. There are mathematical functions, and there are functions related to dimensions. So for example, let's say you want to see the count of rows, okay, in the next one, which ideally we are getting, but just an example to show you. And here if you hover to each one of them, it actually shows you that, for example, with the count, it returns the number of rows in the grouping. With cumulative distributive, it calculates the cumulative distribution. Okay. Then for date range, for other functions which we have studied on the recipe as well, right? All these functions we have studied on the recipe side, like how this can utilize. So this also you can utilize and check one by one. I'm not going to show you everything, but I will show you one of the easy one. Let's say if I go for count, okay. So with the count, let's say I'm just writing here count once again, because here I've taken the sum of amount. Okay. So here if I click on apply, it will actually show me the count, as you can see. Okay. Similarly, if I go for some other functions, for example, I can also go for average, let's say, okay. I can go for average of amount. Now, when I'm going for average, I can choose the fields from here, okay. As you can see here, I can choose the fields. So here, let's say I go for something like average of amount. Okay. So that's how it's populating. So you can choose the function and fields, and if you click on apply, it will show you the average of amount. Here I will just write, yeah, let me just write the proper name, average of amount. Okay, now it's being shown up properly. So similarly, there are a lot of functions. So you can also do some functions related to dimensions. For example, let's say, okay, let's say I want to find the length. Okay, so I want to find the length of the stage bucket, for example. Just an example. For example, here I know what will be the length of the stage bucket, right? This is functions which we have also learned. So here I can choose the field. So I will quickly go for stage bucket. Okay, and I will just write something like length of stage bucket, and that's fine. This is numbers, and I will click on apply. So here it's showing me the length. For example, if you calculate the closed stages, how many were there? CLOSED is 6, STAGES 6, 6, 12 plus 1, 13. Okay, so this whole thing is 13. And if you subtract minus 2, because closed and open, it varies by 2 letters, right? So yeah, these are all the things which I wanted to explain you. Uh, that's the thing. So we understood how we can do simple calculations, just like an addition, then basically doing the subtraction. So for your example, you understood how we can do a subtraction, multiplication, and division. I have taken some random measures, I know that, but it's just to show you like how that simple calculations is done. That's the thing. And here also it's like the simple addition which has been done. And other than that, as I showed you, like here you can do many other things related to, like you can apply all the formulas as well as like the functions, as well as whatever fields you have, those you can apply. Fine. Of course, these are complete separate things which we will learn for the computable separately, but these are all the things which you can definitely apply and check out. And maybe if possible, I can show you one part related to date very quickly. So let's say I take something like close date, and let's say I take something like year month. Okay, and here again I will go to add formula, and here maybe I can try out anything related to date. For example, let's say I write something like days in month. Okay, so days in month, and let's say I choose the function, sorry, I choose the field called close date. Okay, fine. This will be inside this bracket. Okay, and yeah, let me click on apply. Unknown identifier, opportunity loss, close date. Okay, let's check what this function is all about. Days in month. Let's try out for this one, maybe year first day. And let's say go for this. Okay, I think I'm facing some error. I'm not sure. I will check this part and get back to you later. But yeah, overall, this is the idea of the simple calculations which can be done. And yeah, let's meet very soon in our next one. Thank you.